Imagine waking up one morning to news that a distant, icy giant Uranus is hurtling toward Earth. At first, it appears as nothing more than a new celestial body, an odd but seemingly harmless addition to the night sky. But as days pass, astronomers confirm the worst, a direct collision course with our home planet. Humanity now faces the greatest existential threat in history, but how did we end up in this nightmare scenario? And what would really happen if Uranus crashed into Earth? Let's explore this catastrophe, unravel its terrifying implications, and see if there's any chance for survival. Uranus, a serene ice giant located over 3 billion kilometers (1.9 billion miles) from Earth, has always remained distant and unthreatening. However, in our scenario, something inexplicable has happened. This massive planet 15 times the mass of Earth has somehow been dislodged from its stable orbit and is accelerating toward the inner solar system. At first, scientists estimate it would take 13 years for Uranus to reach us. This gives us time to prepare, evacuate, or even find a way to deflect the incoming catastrophe. But then, the reality of its speed sets in. Uranus is moving at an unfathomable 1,000 kilometers per second, 600 miles per second. Instead of a decade-long warning, we now have only 30 days to face the inevitable. As Uranus speeds toward us, it transforms the night sky. A bright blue dot grows larger each day, outshining Venus and even rivaling the Moon in luminosity. It's a breathtaking sight, but also a harbinger of doom. And it's not alone. Uranus' journey disrupts the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. Countless space rocks, some as large as cities, are flung toward Earth. As these asteroids streak through the atmosphere, they create dazzling firestorms in the sky. However, their beauty is fleeting. Some of them will strike the planet, causing destruction on an unprecedented scale. The Chicxulub asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs was only 10 to 15 kilometers wide. These incoming asteroids could be over 200 kilometers wide. The devastation would be unimaginable. Even before impact, Uranus' sheer mass warps Earth's stability. The gravitational pull of this ice giant triggers violent earthquakes, massive volcanic eruptions, and unrelenting tsunamis. The ground trembles beneath our feet, entire cities collapse, and towering waves swallow coastlines. Then comes the smell. Uranus' atmosphere is rich in hydrogen sulfide, the gas responsible for the stench of rotten eggs. As this noxious gas seeps into our atmosphere, the air becomes unbreathable. The planet itself stinks like a cosmic sewer, and we are trapped in its suffocating embrace. But the nightmare isn't over. Uranus brings company. Its 27 moons, some of which are the size of dwarf planets, crash into Earth. Each collision is a cataclysm on its own, obliterating entire continents. And then comes the final blow. As Uranus makes its final approach, Earth's atmosphere is compressed and superheated. The friction ignites the very air we breathe. Firestorms rage across the planet, consuming what little remains of civilization. Cities crumble, oceans boil, and the very crust of the Earth begins to fracture. There is no escape. The collision is imminent. What happens next depends on how Uranus strikes. If the collision is a direct hit, Earth is simply annihilated, torn apart into space debris. However, if Uranus grazes Earth, our planet could become trapped in its orbit, turning into one of its moons. But could life persist in any form? Perhaps. If deep-sea microbes survive the initial devastation, new life could emerge in millions of years. The remains of Earth would now orbit Uranus, bathed in its eerie blue light. And what of Uranus itself? The last time it suffered a massive impact, it tipped over on its side, a unique characteristic among planets. This new impact could tilt it back upright, restoring its original orientation. In a dark twist of fate, Earth's destruction might return Uranus to its former state. While this is purely a thought experiment, it highlights an important truth: our universe is unpredictable. Celestial objects move in mysterious ways, and while an event like this is astronomically unlikely, it reminds us of the fragility of our existence. Earth has been struck before by asteroids, comets, and even planetary fragments. The extinction of the dinosaurs proves that cosmic threats are real. This raises an essential question: how prepared are we for a real disaster? Perhaps one day, humanity will develop technology capable of deflecting rogue planets or building off-world colonies. Until then, we remain at the mercy of the cosmos, hoping that giants like Uranus stay in their distant, icy realms. After all, if one of them ever decides to pay us a visit, there may be no tomorrow. Imagine this: centuries in the future, deep in the cold darkness of Uranus' orbit, a group of explorers from a distant alien civilization discovers a peculiar, frozen rock. As they analyze it, they find traces of an ancient, intelligent species us. Perhaps one day, long after our demise, someone out there will uncover our story. A story of resilience, wonder, and a planet that once thrived under the warmth of the sun before being swallowed by an icy giant. But until then, let's hope Uranus keeps its distance.